As a constitutional law attorney, former senior legal advisor and personal counsel to President Donald J. Trump, Jenna Ellis believes in the rule of law and the importance of integrity in our elections. And she's ready to tackle the big cultural and legal issues facing America. This is the Jenna Ellis Show. Here is your host, Jenna Ellis.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Jenna Ellis Show. I'm Jenna Ellis, and I am so excited to stand for objective truth today with my guest, Riley Gaines. She is the director of the newly launched Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute. You can find out more about it at RileyGainesCenter.org. You know Riley because she has stood for truth, particularly in women's sports, and she is standing for truth to coalition build with the Leadership Institute and this brand new center to say we need to stand for the measurable, objective difference and distinction between men and women. Yes, we can say that they are different biologically, and the left has zero power to redefine that or say that gender is a spectrum or say that men should be able to come into women's locker rooms or participate in women's sports or all of these other issues that even 5 or 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought we would have to stand here and say that this is some kind of controversial topic. But I'm so excited to have Riley Gaines on right after this. With inflation, the banking world collapse, and everything that Joe Biden is doing not to protect America, you need to make sure to secure your financial health, especially in retirement. And hey, if you're a millennial like me, that actually is sooner than you think. You need to start now, even if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer, to make sure that your financial health is actually healthy when we get to retirement. And Legacy Precious Metals has a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in gold and silver online in real time. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped right to your door. You'll have access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar, and this puts you in complete control of your money. The platform is free to sign up for. Visit LegacyPMInvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and against a volatile stock market. A truly diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but different asset classes. This brand new platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Visit LegacyPM.com to get started. You can download the free investor's guide, and you can also call Legacy PM Investments to talk to a portfolio expert to get expert answers to your to customize your personal portfolio. So visit LegacyPMInvestments.com to get started. Tell them that Jenna sent you. So joining me now is Riley Gaines, who is the director of the new Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute. And Riley, I am so excited that you're partnering with the Leadership Institute. I was actually a graduate of the Leadership Institute in college myself. They do such wonderful work. And so this center is going to focus on advocacy for women and girls. And we know the definition of women. And so this is so important, the work that you're doing. So tell us a little bit more about this initiative.
Absolutely. I'm finding more and more people who are graduates of the Leadership Institute. So that's really cool. But yeah, the Riley Gaines Center, really, this is, when I started speaking out, I knew that I wanted to do something along these lines of creating a place where people could go to know there was support. Because again, when I was in that position where I knew this was wrong, but I was scared to say something, we were silenced. It was this weird emotional blackmail that we were taunted with. And so I wanted people to have a home base, essentially, where there's resources and there's mentorship and there's guidance and there's a training program you can go through to where you feel empowered, you feel emboldened, you have the correct resources and effective communication tools to talk about this. We need more leaders, whether that's campus leaders or sports leaders, like a captain on a team, or community leaders or national leaders or school board leaders, whatever that looks like. I know we need more of them, more people willing to stand firm in the truth and have unwavering values, which unfortunately is dwindling. So that's what the Riley Gaines Center is. I'm super excited. We're also going to be able to fund to put conservative speakers back on college campuses. Coming from a college campus recently, I know how the freedom of speech is under threat. Calling yourself a conservative, especially a Christian conservative, it's essentially equivalent to being a criminal, which is crazy. These are supposed to be institutions of higher education where you're supposed to consider new perspectives and have these conversations, but those are few and far between, especially at Ivy League universities, which you would imagine it would be the opposite, but it's not.
Yeah, these are really becoming centers of higher indoctrination and wanting to quell anyone who disagrees with the overall narrative, particularly state-funded institutions, but then also so I went to Colorado State and saw and observed a lot of that, even back when I was an undergrad. But then also a lot of these Ivy League institutions, they're wanting to diminish any sort of freedom of thought, freedom of expression. And one of the things, Riley, that I so appreciate about your platform is that you are all about coalition building and team building. And so with this new center, that makes a lot of sense why you are trying to give the resources to young women in particular, and everyone who's an advocate for women's sports, for women's issues, and for the truth, simply. Yeah. And so what was your experience that you mentioned in feeling like you were really told to just be quiet and stand down and you couldn't speak up? What was that experience like when you were a college athlete?
Absolutely. So we were told, just stay quiet. It'll be easier. You don't want to paint your university in a bad light. You don't want to paint your team in a bad light. This is something that will follow you forever. You'll be labeled a transphobe, and that will prevent you from getting a job. That will prevent you from getting into grad school. You'll lose your friends. You'll lose your scholarship if you speak out. They told us, you can't use your voice because your school has already taken your stance for you. They told us when we were concerned about the locker room aspect of it, Lia Thomas's teammates, even, they sent an email to their administration at University of Pennsylvania expressing their discomfort. And their university responded back with, if you feel uncomfortable seeing male genitalia, here are some counseling resources that you should seek in an attempt to re-educate yourself. And of course, the counseling center they were referring them to was the LGBTQ Education Center. They told us that if we did speak out and any harm whatsoever were to come towards Thomas's way, whether that was physical, mental, emotional, through social media, whatever that looked like, then we were solely responsible, and we would be responsible for a potential death. Therefore, we would be murderers. They told us we would be murderers if we advocated for privacy in our locker rooms and equal opportunities. And so it was effective in keeping us quiet. It kept me quiet from November of 2021, when I found out who Lia Thomas was, until March of 2022. I waited for someone else to do it. I thought surely someone would. Surely someone who was supposed to be protecting us would protect us, like someone's dad or a coach or someone within the NCAA, someone with political power. Someone would do something. This shouldn't come from a 21-year-old girl. I didn't know what I was doing. I still, honestly, don't know what I'm doing. But I realized that that's not what we were seeing. And it kind of hit me, this realization that if we as women, we as female athletes weren't okay with what's happening, then we have to stand up for ourselves. It's not fair for us to expect someone else to do it. This has to come from us. And so that's really what thrusted me over the edge into kind of abandoning the plans that I had made for myself and trusting God and trusting that He has His hand on it. He has His hand on me. And really, as you mentioned, just standing for truth, because that's what this is. That's the broader picture of this, is that they're asking us to deny objective truth, the most basic of truths, actually, man and woman. It's the essence of humanity. And they're asking us to deny that. And it's a pretty chilling thought. If we can't, hold on to that, it's like asking us to deny that the sky is blue. And once they have control over our thoughts and how we feel and what we say, not to be grim, but it's like a George Orwell dystopian novel, but we're living it. But in the vein of not wanting to end on a grim note with that statement, I am hopeful because more and more people daily are becoming emboldened and empowered enough to know what's at stake, to see the harm being done to, as it pertains to the gender ideology stuff, specifically to children and to women. And I think they're realizing that the majority of people are on our side, despite what you see on the media and despite how polarizing you see politicians vote. The majority of common sense Americans know this is utter lunacy.
Mm-hmm. They do. And I am so grateful that you were willing to speak up. And I'm speaking with Riley Gaines, who is the director of the newly launched Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute. And you're going to provide support and resources and encouragement and coalition building for women's sports issues, for the truth on so many levels. And Riley, I think that really resonates with so many people who see what's going on in the world and the culture around us. And not only are they seeing some of these basic essential truths, like the definition and the difference biologically between men and women being completely denied, but then if we even speak up about that and say, no, this is the truth, then it's like we're treated as we're the lunatics and we're the ones that aren't just going with the affirmation of all of these people who just want to live their lives. But your story, I mean, I find that just so despicable that they would essentially blame the victim and say, for you as young women to be in a college locker room and being forced to see a male undress himself and to be a victim of his choices, where was the concern for the women who were involved? And why is it this hierarchy that the institutions want to support literally the man over protecting young women?
There was no concern for our privacy. There was no concern for our safety. There was no concern for our dignity, our mental health, our feelings. I mean, the list goes on. There was no concern for any of that, which is why this experience felt like betrayal. I had this understanding that people wanted the best for me, for my teammates, for my competitors, for my little sister, for us as women, especially female athletes, as we've seen the NCAA and politicians, especially the left, really champion themselves around Title IX and what that did for women. But my understanding was wrong. I was naive to think that, because they sent a message loud and clear. And that message is that we don't matter. That message is that we're not worthy of equal opportunity. Which again, it begs the question of where are the feminists, right? Yes. Where are the women who fought so hard for us to be at the position where we're at now? I mean, even look at Megan Rapinoe, who even just a week or two ago after the World Cup elimination game, when they asked her, you know, what's your most proud accomplishment? And she says equal pay. But the irony of her fighting for equal pay and now fighting for men to be included in our spaces and in our sports is almost comical. Like, it's almost hilarious, the double standard and the hypocrisy behind it. And so I think this original first wave, second wave feminism, it really hurt us actually, and took us back as women, because we, men and women, I wholeheartedly believe we were created equal. But that being said, we're different. We have differences that don't make us as women inferior. It doesn't make us weak or incapable of achieving incredible things. That's not what I mean when I say different. I mean our bodies are different. The nature of man and woman is different. And I think it's something that we really complement each other. And we're failing to understand that. We're failing to acknowledge that. And so it's gotten to us to the point we're at. And to your question too, my argument is not anti-trans. It's not anti-anything. My argument is pro-woman. My argument is pro-fairness. And again, my argument is pro-truth. That's what I'm fighting for. And I have so many standing beside me and behind me. That's what we're all fighting for. And I love that term, coalition, because we're building a coalition of parents and coaches and medical professionals and even people who would consider themselves lifelong liberals. who are so fed up with what the Democratic Party is doing to women, doing again to truth. I had a lifelong liberal say to me, and that's what she calls herself. She says she's a lifelong liberal. She voted for Biden, all that stuff. But she said to me the other day, and I thought this was so powerful. She said, how can our government defend what they can't even define? And it's so true, because think about it. We have a sitting Supreme Court justice who can't even define what a woman is because she says she's not a biologist. Well, guess what? I'm not a veterinarian, but I know what a dog is. And he's been pacing around. So you probably have seen my dog in this video. So, but that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. But I thought that was really powerful. So again, how can you defend what you can't define?
Yeah. And you're so right that this is utter hypocrisy, and it's beyond absurd when you have the Biden administration who is saying, well, we have to have diversity on the bench, which means that we have to have a Black woman, but then we can't define what race or gender is. And so how can they possibly support those two propositions simultaneously? And it is totally absurd when they're trying to redefine everything and completely obfuscate the truth. And this goes back to exactly what you were saying, that we know from the Bible and the truth of the reality to which God has presented us, that he made us male and female. And that is a fundamental beginning truth. And if we allow those terms and those definitions to then be a spectrum and be completely redefined based on how people feel. And it doesn't matter how Lia Thomas wants to foist himself and his genitals over everyone else that may come into contact with him in the locker room. It doesn't matter. We just have to affirm his feelings. Then what else are we saying is negotiable in society? And so when we are taking out any sort of measurement of objective truth from society, we're excising God. We're excising that truth can be determined and found. It's discoverable. It's concrete. Then we've completely lost. And I think you're absolutely right that feminism is rejecting the whole idea of what it means to be equal, and equal can only come from the truth of God. And so, Riley, in just the last few minutes that I have with you here too, what type of momentum have you personally felt with and observed and seen with your voice and your stand? Because you're right, it shouldn't take a 21-year-old to come and say, hey, everybody, we have to do something about this. But I'm so grateful. And that's how God uses people. He raises people up and says, hey, I knew that this was never your plan for your life, but here you're going. And I'm so grateful that you responded to that call and you were willing to stand up. And so what has this been like now, and with launching this new Leadership Institute Center and initiative, to see these results and see how God has blessed you?
It's huge, right? This is never a position that I saw myself in. This is never something really that I knew I was overly passionate about until I was directly impacted by it. And then I realized, hold on, I really care about this. We've seen now 22 states pass some sort of fairness in women's sports bill, which is huge considering just 3 years ago, I think there was only 3 states that had. So lots of momentum there. I think more and more states will continue to do such. I won't hold out hope on states like California and New York and Michigan and things of that yet. Or I guess I'm holding out hope a little bit, but we'll see. I'm confident that more states will continue to pass it. Also, the Women's Bill of Rights is a bill that we've been pushing at the state level as well as the federal level. And what this is, crazily enough, is a law that would define the word woman and other sex-based terms such as male, female, mother, father, girl, boy, things like that, which again is crazy that we even need. But we've seen that pass in Kansas and then Tennessee, and then Governor Stitt out of Oklahoma just signed an executive order on the Women's Bill of Rights. So really great stuff there. Continuing to work at the federal level to combat the Biden administration's rewrite and implementation of Title IX, to where they are now equating sex to gender identity, meaning, in a nutshell, as there would be no discriminating on the basis of gender identity on college campuses. So men can join sororities, they would have full access to bathrooms, locker rooms, changing spaces. Men could take academic and athletic scholarships away from women, and all of those things. And so combating that in every way I can. They're going to want to be sneaky about it. They're going to want to do it quietly so no one knows. I think their implementation is in October. So doing everything I can to highlight the work behind the scenes they're doing there so it doesn't just slip under the radar like they want it to.
Yeah, and that's what's so important as well, is to make sure that everyone who is a conservative and who is championing the truth in all of these various forums on the state and federal level know and are aware of this happening. I mean, I remember when there was SOGI language, the sexual orientation, gender identity language that was trying to get slipped into the USMCA, even during President Trump's administration, and that replaced NAFTA and that trade agreement, because then that would be controlling over a lot of the federal employment type of things. And of course, Congress hasn't passed any of that yet, but there's always that sneaky language that gets in. And once it was highlighted and brought to conservative organizations' attention, then we can actually combat that and we can do something about it. And that's why sunshine is, of course, the best disinfectant. And so, Riley, you have been such an incredible role model for other young women as well, to stand up and just say with courage, this is the truth. Here I stand, and I'm going to proclaim it. And I am not going to care all of the hate. And we've seen the hate that you've gotten literally spit on and attacked on college campuses, which is awful and completely insane that that's happening in this country, but you are resilient. So what is your encouragement to other young women who are watching you and are saying, that's great, I don't know that I would have the courage to do that, but maybe they see your boldness and they want to emulate that, and that's what makes you a great role model?
Just know that it's liberating to say the truth. Once you don't have to adhere to the guidelines or to the authority figures who are pushing something down your throat that makes you throw your own moral compass out of the window, it is liberating. It feels like a weight is off of your shoulders. And once you do that, you won't go back. At least that's entirely how I feel. Even when I began to speak out at first, I felt like I had to use the pronouns that corresponded with what Lia Thomas wanted, to be respectful. And it still felt wrong coming out of my mouth, but I felt like I had to. You don't have to. There are no compromises you have to make when it comes to standing firm for what you know to be true, the objective truth at that, not just what you know to be true, what is true. Standing firm in your faith, you don't have to make compromises. And so just know that, and know that the overwhelming majority of people are on your side. All polling shows it. And not just the overwhelming majority of conservatives, the overwhelming majority of every party, of the general public across the globe knows that what we're going through as it pertains to sports, but even broader than that, they know this is wrong, and they know that's harmful to women. So speak up, be bold, be loud. When they threaten you with personal attacks and name calling and all of those things, think of that as encouragement. Think of that you're doing the right thing. My motto when I see the backlash and different things is they wouldn't waste ammunition on something that they don't want to hit. We are right over the target, and that scares a lot of people. Because we're, again, trying to just restore reality. So that's my encouragement. My encouragement to parents is defend your daughters and teach your sons masculinity. We need more strong men, just as we beg the question of where are the feminists, I think we can beg the question of where are the men. So teach your sons to be masculine. Of course, teach them to respect and honor and uphold and celebrate women on our uniqueness and our own physical ceilings, but teach them how to be strong men.
Well said. And continue to stand firm. You have so many people around the country, and I think around the world at this point, that are praying for you, that are advocating for you. And anyone who's interested in the new Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute, you can go to RileyGainesCenter.org. Look at getting involved in supporting this wonderful new initiative and this coalition. And so, Riley Gaines, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. Thank you.
With inflation, the banking world collapse, and everything that Joe Biden is doing not to protect America, you need to make sure to secure your financial health, especially in retirement. And hey, if you're a millennial like me, that actually is sooner than you think. You need to start now, even if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer, to make sure that your financial health is actually healthy when we get to retirement. And Legacy Precious Metals has a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in gold and silver online in real time. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped right to your door. You'll have access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar, and this puts you in complete control of your money. The platform is free to sign up for. Visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and against a volatile stock market. A truly diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but different asset classes. This brand new platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Visit legacypm.com to get started. You can download the free investor's guide, and you can also call Legacy PM Investments to talk to a portfolio expert to get expert answers to to customize your personal portfolio. So visit legacypminvestments.com to get started. Tell them that Jenna sent you.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary, with over 80 million MyPillows sold, Mike Lindell wants to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on his MyPillows. You will receive a queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. The regular price is $69.98 and just $10 more for a king size. You'll receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, my slippers, which I love, and so much more. This is the time to try out some of the amazing products you've had your eye on from MyPillow. So go to mypillow.com and enter promo code Jenna to receive this amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for $19.98. You can go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-564-8475. Be sure to use the promo code Jenna. This offer comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. It's time to start getting the quality sleep you deserve. This offer comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. It's time to start getting the quality sleep you deserve. Go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Jenna.